Hey, what's up guys? I'm doing a Final Fantasy Tidus deck profile for you guys. Now, I'm sure you guys can probably tell in my voice that I'm actually have a cold. It was first a cough, now it's a cold, so yeah. So, for the dual videos I'll be recording for you guys, I will not be talking in them, just because I don't think you guys want to hear me cough and deal with all of that, so yeah. Like what I'm doing now. Um, so, I'll try to explain everything best I can in with this deck, so yeah. So the first four cards that you guys will be seeing work together in one way or another, so yeah. So we have Tidus for our first card. So the cost of it to play Tidus is reduced by 1 for each X category, which is basically this. Ford you control. So if you control a card named Yuna, Tidus gains Brave, which means that it has Vigilance. And then when the Ford card named Yuna is put from the field to the break zone, you draw 2 cards. So, which is pretty nice in a lot of ways, so yeah. And then 3 Yuna. Now I decided to run just 3 of the main one. I was looking over the set ones that you get from the Opus 1 or the Opus 3 pack. I forget which set it actually comes from. But I just didn't really care for it in after reading the effect, so I just decided to just keep these in here. So yeah. So whenever you cast a summon, you can duel Yuna, and then if it is active, if you do so, draw 1 card, and then this effect will trigger once per turn. So, which isn't bad, but you mainly want to keep Yuna in face up, like straight, like in vigilance mode. So, yeah. And then 3 Riku. So basically, if you control Yuna, Riku gains 2,000 power, and Riku cannot be chosen by summons, which is pretty cool. And then if you control a card named Pain, then Riku gains 2,000 power, and Riku cannot be targeted by abilities. So this is Pain, which I will explain to you guys now. So, when Pain enters the field, if you control Yuna, draw 1 card. When Pain enters the field, choose up to 3 backups you control. If you control Riku, and then you activate them. So, like I said, that's what I was mean by that. By they work together in one way or another. So, which is really quite cool. So, and then for the water part of this deck, so 3 Waka. So when Waka attacks, choose 1 forward you control until end of turn. It gains 1,000 power for each forward you control, which is actually really quite useful. So yeah, and then you discard 1 with the same name, and then tap a water, and choose 1 forward until end of turn. It loses all abilities, and its power becomes 1,000, which is really quite cool until end of turn. So, and then 2 Geomancer. So when she's put into, or from the field to the break zone, you draw 1 card, which is pretty decent in some situations, so, depending on what you're in, anyway. So, 2 Knight, So the Forge forming a party with Knight don't receive any damage, which is really quite cool. So it's useful in that situation. So yeah. And then Viking, this one, it will be replaced with another Leviathan. Just because I don't really care for it, and I like Leviathan a lot more better. So, but it's the fact is that when Viking enters the field, you draw one card. So, which is decent, but I mean, it's like, I'd rather have more control over that. So, so yeah. One Warrior of Light. So when the forward you control, or when the job standard unit forwards you control gain 2,000 power and first strike, which is really quite handy in a lot of different situations. So yeah. And then 3 of this guy. So he's a backup. And then when he enters the field, choose one forward of cost 3 or less your opponent controls, and then return to hand. So, there's not many, or there's not a whole lot of forwards that are 3 or less, but it's still handy in some situations. So, yeah. 2 of Evoker just for your mana. So, 1 White Mage. So when White Mage enters the field, choose 1 forward, activate it. So, which is really quite handy, depending on the matchup. So, yeah. And then 1 of him, so the forward you control don't receive damage that is less than their power, which is also really quite handy to have just in case. So, yeah. And then 2 Leviathan, choose 1 forward or return to hand, so it's really quite good to help control the board. So get rid of big threats. So so yeah, so that's basically it for the water. Now for the wind. So 2 Thief. So when Thief enters the field, your opponent puts the top card of his or her deck into the break zone. Which is pretty handy in a lot of different situations, so, yeah. So, 1 Archer, so it just has first strike, that's basically all that it has. 1 Bartz, so when he enters the field, activate all wind characters you control, which is really quite handy in a bunch of different situations, because it can help you push your game, or it can help you stay alive. So, and then 1 Onion Knight. So when he enters the field, choose 1 backup you control, activate it. So, which is pretty cool. And then 3 Brother. So when he enters the field, you can search for a category X forward, and then add for a deck your hand. So you can search out for Tidus, you can search out for Una, or anything else that you might need. So any X forward, you can just search out. So, which is really quite handy. And then 3 of him. So you tap him, put him into the break zone, and then choose up to 2 forwards, activate him. So, which is also really quite handy. In case if your opponent freezes you or anything like that, you can just do this and then, tap it and then, be able to attack you. So, yeah. 2 Evoker, again, just generic mana. I mean, it was basically the same for water, so, yeah. And then 1 Aerith. Also is really quite good. So when Aerith enters the field, choose 1 backup you control other than this card, and then activate it. So yeah, and then I made one slight mistake. There is actually 2 archer. So that was my mistake. I just now saw it and I was like, well, crap. So, but there is 2 archer, so yeah. I just have to put them together. So, 3 of this card. So deal 3,000 damage to all 4 of your opponent controls. If you control a card named Yuna, activate all backups you control. So it's a really, really cool card. And if your punch forwards are damaged, this is a good main phase 2 to activate to kill whatever is left. So, which is really, really quite cool. So, and then 2 of this card. So choose 1 forward you control, activate it. All forwards you control gain 1,000 power until end turn. So it's pretty cool and it helps out a lot depending on the situation. So yeah. So that's basically it for the Final Fantasy Tidus starter or deck profile. So thank you for watching. Don't you like, comment, and subscribe for more. And stay tuned for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel videos tomorrow. So yeah, stay tuned for those. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you later. Alright, later.